recording.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna cost you a little bit, but it's not too bad. But I'm not gonna find out that time, so I'm gonna go around.
Welcome, Town of Pierson regular council meeting for Tuesday, March the 12th, 2024 at 6:35 p.m. will now come to order. Vaughn, would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Mayor Samuel Bennett.
Here.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland.
Here.
Councilwoman Sergia Cardenas.
Here.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson.
Here.
Councilwoman Brandy Peterson.
Here.
Town Planner Mark Fred.
Here.
And I am present.
Thank you, Yvonne. At this time, I'd like to ask Pastor Larry Miller of the Church of God of Prophecy here in town. Welcome, and Larry is here to open our meeting up with to give the invocation. You can, if you'd like to, you could just stand there. I think everybody can see you, and you can, or if you'd like to go to the podium, or there is fine. Okay. Wherever you'd like.
Oh, a lot of changes have taken place. A lot of changes have taken place. And I'm noticing that a lot of good changes have taken place for you. Some good changes have taken place. I was telling somebody today that since the first day of this year, it's been great. It's been great. There's some of the problems that I've been dealing with for years. They're still here, but for some reason they don't seem so crucial as they used to. I apologize for being late. My wife, most people don't prepare like this now, and she was having some little difficulties, so if y'all forgive me for that. I don't like to be late. And I don't like to complain. I told somebody yesterday, they said something about complaining. I said, listen, 5 million people wanting in the wilderness for 40 years for complaining. I don't have time. So if you're waiting for that, you're going to wait a long, long time. But it's just amazing to me how this year has started. And I had a wise man tell me, he says, maybe it's because you're looking at it differently. Looking at it differently. And he brought a scripture to me from the Bible in Romans chapter 8, verse 28. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Lord. To them that are called according to his purpose. I'm finding out this year, just starting this year. I thought I was a knowledgeable person. 1988, I quit home education, $1,500 and 50,000 word essay for my PhD. Most people Pierson don't know that. They think I'm just a plain old country boy. And I am at heart. This is home. But a lot of things have changed. And stuff that I thought was put there to hurt me or to confuse me or to maybe destroy me. I found out that those things have worked around where they have literally become a blessing to me. A blessing. I'm rejoicing in it, what I used to be troubled and worried about. Now I'm rejoicing in it, so now I'm beginning to see how these changes that are taking place were never meant to hurt me, but they were for my good. And I believe that change is taking place right here in Pierson, Florida, that some of y'all are a little confounded about. But if we could just be still just a little bit, just a little while, and let God sets kings up. My Bible says he sets kings up and he puts them down. And when he gets done, we just let him. When he gets done, you won't believe those things you were worried about that suddenly have turned around and you're rejoicing. We do our best. These people here, I believe with all my heart, they do their best. But all of us need a little help once in a while. Am I right? Once in a while, all of us need a little bit. And that's what I'm going to pray for tonight. For all of us to get that little extra hit that we need. That decisions that we were making or tried to make or think we're going to make, that God would open the doors of our hearts that we can see exactly what the right decision is. Because I want to see this town. This is my home. That's where I grew up. Great and Vera can certify that. And I want to see it in a glory like she's never been before, where that she literally become the envy of other towns and people in Florida. That's asking a lot, but you know what? I know somebody can do that. Would you bow your heads with me? Heavenly Father, we thank you today. We have this opportunity to stand before this group of people. Lord, they're here, they've got a purpose. It may sound like mine's different than theirs, I don't know. But Lord, there's only one God, and you and him. And these people, and all these people, including me, Lord, we need all the help that we can get. So I pray for special doors to be opened to our town, Lord. To our town, God. Lord, that would bring us, all of us, in making not just right decisions, but decisions that you are pleased with, Lord. That will make this town a place that everybody, race, creed, national, it doesn't matter who they are, would be proud to live in. And continue to be proud to live in a long, long time. So I pray a special blessing upon every person in this building tonight. And Lord, as they connect with people outside the building, just let it flow over. I think one place you said it rains on the just and the unmerciful. Like that means everybody's going to get saved. So I pray your blessings upon these to begin with tonight. Lord, like they never dreamed possible. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Ghost. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Larry. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the first item for consideration tonight is the minutes for our regular meeting. At this time, are there any additions or deletions?
For the regular minutes, no, but for the workshop minutes, yes. The only, instead of missing Cohen, it's missing Mark.
Well, the only minutes that we're going to be voting on, I think, are just the on the agenda for the regular meeting for February.
They were both in the packet, that's why I was bringing it up.
Well, we'll just vote on the ones for that are advertised for the regular meeting, February the 27th. So are there any additions or deletions for those? Now, Okay, if not, the mayor would entertain a motion.
Approved.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Lenny Richardson for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Sergio Cardenas. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay, our next item for consideration, 5A, and it's 162 West 2nd Avenue sidewalk, and we have, I think, Mr. Jeremy Stedman is here tonight. Welcome, Jeremy. And so you have the floor if you'd like to share with all of us about the sidewalk.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jeremy Stedman. I own the commercial property at 162 West 2nd Ave. The sidewalk there is in disrepair. It's become a liability for people walking up and down as well as my customers. I would like to see the council look at doing something about it. It is a city-owned sidewalk. I'm not opposed to just removing it completely because it's essentially a sidewalk to nowhere, or having it repaired.
Okay. There is a sidewalk there, and I think we should repair it. It just needs some repair. It's been that way. It was that way when Jeremy, before he bought the property.
When I purchased it in 2019, my insurance company threw a fit about it until they realized I didn't own the sidewalk. It is a city sidewalk.
And I had talked with Jeremy about this, and you even had some issues with the insurance company because the sidewalk was in disrepair.
Right, I think I brought this probably to you and the previous clerk in 2019 when I bought the property.
And that's true. So,
I noticed.
Should we repair that though, will you guarantee that they'll quit parking on it?
I will guarantee that personally.
I mean, that hasn't helped it.
Exactly. But the one thing you can say about the parking on it is keeping the people off of it and relieving the city of some liability of a fall hazard.
I haven't paid that much attention to it to see how bad a shape it's in. Are the pieces getting uneven?
It's all broken and raised up in spots.
just need to basically just knock it out and repair the sidewalk. It was, and it, you know, it's not that great big, it's not that large, but it does need to be
It's probably
repaired.
from me to the state.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Paul Martell, 506 North Pine Street. If I heard the gentleman correctly, he stated it would be your choice, either repair it or remove it. In my estimation, if Jeremy is not against removing it, it'd be a heck of a lot cheaper and it would be done. It's a sidewalk to nowhere, he made a statement. So I would suggest to the council to take those words under advisement.
Well, I take issue with that. I understand it's not going to a designated area, but if someone wants to walk in that section of the street, you can walk on the sidewalk instead of walking in the street. So for pedestrians, and the sidewalk has been there, it just needs, part of it just needs to be repaired. But Jeremy put it on the agenda, and it's for this board's consideration. So
That's the only piece of property on Second in that area that even has a sidewalk, correct?
I think so.
well, I think there's more further down.
There may be a piece
Part of the
headed towards
JJ.
County Road 3, but I don't think it's fully all the way to County Road 3. It's another sidewalk that is premature.
It's a benefit to pedestrians, even for that short area, but if, you know, like Jeremy's saying is the property owner, that he's fine if we want to remove it, but
I would at least like to look at it.
you want to table it until you
Well,
take a look at
I
it?
think we all need to look at it.
Yeah.
I think we all need to look at it, and then we can decide, you know, what we want to do at our next thing. But right off the bat, you know, tonight, I can't say, you know, what we need to do, because I haven't really noticed it, Jeremy.
And I want to bring it to the council's attention because it's a liability for me.
Right.
And people in and out of my property, and a liability for the city as well, the
Mhm.
condition it's in, because it is definitely a fault.
wasn't aware it was in that bad a shape.
I haven't seen anybody walk on it. I've seen
Yeah.
somebody walk on the other side of the street. They're always on the other side of the street, not on the sidewalk.
Okay.
Jeremy, if it's all right with you, if you don't mind us tabling it for the next meeting, that'll give all 5 of us a chance to go look at it, and we can make a decision next meeting how we want to approach it.
Yes.
Is that okay with the rest of the council person?
Okay.
Chairman, I move the table.
Okay, we have,
Item 5A, please.
okay, we have a motion on the floor by Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to table 5A, the 162 West 2nd Avenue sidewalk. Jeremy Stebbin, motion to table. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sergio Cardenas. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay, Save Our Voting Rights, Christine Wake.
She's
Injured,
not here.
is not coming, and sends her apologies.
Oh, okay. Well, perhaps table this
Move
one
the
and
table.
table, okay?
Move the table, 5B.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by our Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to table 5B, Save Our Voting Rights, by Christine Wake. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Lenny Richardson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried.
That way, if she does want to speak to us next meeting, she can come.
She can come next meeting. Hopefully I don't know, do you know anything about the injury or?
I was texting her, asking her where she was, and she said she hurt her elbow, and said to tell you all she's sorry.
Okay.
Just heard about it.
Okay. Okay, next item 5C, street signs and other signage. I put it on the agenda that way because I wanted to talk about several different signs. Have you ordered any signs for no? You know, we've had issues in the past with, here some time ago, with people going to the cemeteries at different times of the day, and we have an ordinance that was enacted to help to keep things in where there was not issues or problems there. So we looked it up, found the ordinance, but the signage that is there needs to be replaced. And so I wanted to know if, in regards to us ordering some new signage to put up at the cemeteries here in the town of Pierson, the 2 that we have.
Are they getting where
You can't, they're unlegible.
well, then they need to be replaced in,
Okay.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
I think what the sheriff said also is if there's no signs, they can't
Right.
do anything, so we have to put signs. It would help a lot.
It'll be what you just said, that's the truth, so that's what we need to do. So, then, there are some other signs throughout the town. I thought that, that we had replaced the ones that needed to be, replaced, but there's still some signs that are not legible or they're damaged. And, so at the, discretion of the board, whatever you decide, I would like for the board to vote to order new signs for the cemetery and keep it open-ended, that if we need a sign, instead of having to wait until we have a meeting to go ahead and be able to order the sign. I could get with Yvonne or Ryan and order the signage, so that, because there's still some signs that they need to be replaced. And not a lot, but that's a board decision, so.
So why don't we compile a list of what needs to be replaced?
Well, we did, but the list wasn't right. So, Lewis went and compiled a list and said, the signage was good, and then you can go around in different parts of the town, and then oh, that one I didn't see. And you know, we've ordered the bulk of the signs, Lenny, they've been ordered, with, you know, but I'm talking about maybe there's one or two, and then that were unnoticed, so that we can go ahead and order them and get them put up. But
The signs we have in the town of Pierson, though, they're relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
And I don't see why we can't approve to replace the ones that we know that need to be
And while we're
replaced.
on the topic of signs, a sign that I guess needs to come down, what's the lady that had the autistic child and we put up the signs for her on
Palmetto, yes.
That they've moved, so we probably need to take that sign down and store it away in case we need it
That's true.
in another location someday.
Okay, they've moved.
Are
Wow,
they gone, Marcy?
Yeah.
They sold their,
okay.
Doug sold his house?
not done.
Her? She?
What's her name?
Danielle.
Danielle.
Torres, Marcos Torres, I think is her husband's name. Right there on Palmetto.
Right. Anyway, getting back to the discussion on the signs, yes, those need to come down, Bill, if they have moved. And, where I was going earlier, you know, signs are pretty inexpensive. I think all the council members have us alone can spend up to $500
Right,
if something in town needs it. So I don't see where we can,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even put it on the agenda. If we need a sign, get it, put it up.
okay. Well,
I mean,
again,
unless we go over $500, which I don't think we're
I don't
going
believe
to.
it will, but as mayor, I just didn't want I wanted for it to all be at a public meeting and for y'all to make a decision collectively, so.
And the only thing I say is if we're just replacing signs, I mean, we're not ordering new signs
Right.
that we haven't approved to put up somewhere. I mean, as long as it's just replacing, I have no problem with it.
Right,
Okay,
right, exactly.
okay, so if that's a consensus, then we'll go ahead then and get the cemetery signs, and I've seen, maybe a half a dozen scattered around that need to be replaced, so I'll make a list of them and get with Yvonne or Ryan, and we'll get them ordered. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, item number 5D, budget for renovations, new town center, 10,000 discussed at the workshop on March the 4th. And I believe that it was recommended that we go ahead and budget that amount. Is that, am I correct in that? So,
What the recommendation was.
so the mayor would entertain a motion to that effect.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Lenny Richardson to approve a budget amount of $10,000 to be used on the renovation of the building, some of the buildings here on our new town center campus. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sergio Cardenas. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay, item number 5E, 4th of July. We had also a recommendation from the workshop that we approve the contract from the company that provides our fireworks display. Is it Four Seasons?
4 seasons.
Four Seasons, I believe. 4 Seasons, and I don't see the,
We approved that at the last meeting.
This was for the
This is for the workshop.
Yeah, this,
that we just did.
the inflatables.
for the inflatables? Okay.
The train.
Okay, this is for the inflatables, the train, and
Water slide.
water slide.
There was a total of 4, wasn't there?
rock wall,
Yeah,
2 water slides for the younger, or a water slide for each age, under 5 and over 5, and slides for under 5 and over 5, the rock wall, the train. And then we talked about ordering our own snow cone machine, so we'd have an extra backup, and also a popcorn machine.
Right.
And we talked about all the food and stuff.
okay, so Mayor would entertain a motion to that effect.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Brandy Peterson to approve our recommendation from the workshop from 3-4 to approve the expenditures for the different inflatables and the train for the 4th of July celebration. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay. Improvements at Chipper Jones Park. There's a couple things that I wanted to talk about. We have the last year we did extensive improvement there on our bleachers that we own there at the rodeo grounds. I was walking around doing an inspection on those. They're good. There's maybe a couple boards that need to be replaced. But the one thing that I think that and I'm bringing this to the board's attention and for consideration, there's a couple of the bleachers that have railing and it's safe. Then there's a couple of the bleachers, the high bleachers I'm talking about, there's no railing. And I think we need to get a company to give us a price on putting a railing on the areas where there's no protection for people that are in the stand. Now there's some smaller bleachers over there that I believe, from what I can tell, and even Jimmy might even know about it, looks like they might have been moved from the ballpark. There's real small.
Over at the rodeo ground?
Yeah. And so those probably need to be moved back over to the where the ball fields are. But the high, those bleachers that are real high, there's a couple that have railings, and then there's some that with no railing. So that needs to be corrected, because that's a liability to the town when we have a big group of people over there, I think. And
At the ballpark or at the arena?
At the rodeo grounds.
The bigger bleachers.
So what I could do, if the board thinks that's something that we want to move forward with it, I know there's one company here in town that does work and fabrication, and that's the Roach. What's his? Travis Roach. And he's very capable, and he's right here in town, and maybe get him to go look at it and give us a price of what it would cost to make the railing, to make that a little where somebody wouldn't get hurt. Because that's just, it's not good, I don't think.
Well, let's get Travis or somebody else, Travis, and maybe,
Get some quotes.
yeah, get some quotes. Yeah, get 2 or 3 quotes
Okay.
and see what it would cost.
Since we're talking about improvements at Chipper Jones, the bathrooms, if we spend money somewhere over there, it needs to be on those bathrooms. They're horrible.
The ones, the 2 by the park,
Yes. They need to be totally redone. I mean,
really.
we do a lot at that arena for the little bit of amount of people and use it, where those bathrooms support all of the Little League
And the park.
and the park, yeah, and they're horrible. Maybe we need to get quotes on that as well, if we're gonna spend money in that area.
Okay.
everything in both of them broke? Or-
Chris, they're horrible. They're wooden doors that look like they've been there for 20 years. Is not somewhere we should be proud of for the town of Pierson. I mean, and he cleans them every morning. And by that afternoon, they're calling saying, hey, this is horrible up here.
We can get, Brandy, then we can get some pricing on doing some, a makeover or upgrade on those restrooms then. Okay,
I work on that, so.
okay. Is there anything else that y'all can think of that we need to look at over there?
We're gonna make it all compliant. We need to look at the park to make sure that there's still not no rusty, nasty stuff over there. Cause there's still some playground equipment and stuff that probably should come out if it's not 100%.
We'll relook at that, because we want it to be in shape. I do know that we got the one piece of new equipment. and
Right.
That was very expensive, but we were able to,
And we put dirt and all under all of it then when we put that one in,
yeah,
yeah.
so we'll look at that, okay? Okay, well, we'll try to get more information and bring that back for the board and, to try to, that's how we'll proceed then.
We're gonna have to address the sand spurs up there too, sooner or later.
Didn't they put out line, Bobby, did they put out some line?
Yes.
I'm Mary Kay Hanson, 464 Hartman Road. When did Hunter go out there and spray before the season started for ants? Yep. Because I was
Yes.
noticing the other night, Friday night, I think, bunch of ant beds on the fence line, and I thought, well, Hunter was supposed to spray, I thought. So he did out there 2 weeks ago. I mean, I don't know how fast they come back, so, and I don't know how often it needs to be done, but I don't think it's once every 6 months, you know, especially.
No, probably not.
Yeah, he did spray the area, and the board approved it, and so that should, hopefully,
Well,
that
his contract, and I use him personally at my house. If there's a problem and they're back,
Yeah.
all we gotta do is call him,
Yeah,
he'll come back and retreat it.
but the fields did look really good. So,
okay.
kudos to the clay.
Thank you. Yes.
Kelly Green, 570 North Pine Street. While we're talking about it, shouldn't we be looking at ADA compliance for that park as well? Because basically nothing we have is ADA compliant, hardly anything.
When we're gonna do upgrade, that's a good point. It should be,
The
yes.
bathroom does.
The last thing this town needs is to get sued over something like that.
Yeah, I
And there
think
are
that's-
people that go up and down the coast of Florida just looking for something, doing those lawsuits, and they are not handicapped.
so we can work on that and bring all of this back to try to get these, some of this taken care of.
And
Thank you.
Melissa Fox gave us a list a couple of years back on what needed to be upgraded to ADA compliance.
Not on the park, she didn't,
No,
not
I'm saying about the entire town.
the, she talked about our new town center here and we,
But all of our parks need to be brought up to ADA compliance, so that's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
right. Okay, yes, Greg?
Ray Leonard, 168 East Second Avenue. You may not recall, but she did bring a list in about a page and a half long of things in the town of Pierson that were not ADA compliant, that she recommended that we look into and make them ADA compliant. If you don't have a copy of that at the town hall, I have a copy of it. I'd be happy to share it with you.
Okay,
She brought it in when I was on the council.
okay,
That's been quite a few years ago, and we still have everything up there that's not ADA compliant.
I remember her bringing
I
the
mean,
copy.
she talked about sidewalk access, parking access, the bathroom, the playground equipment, things here at the new town center and at North
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So some of these areas then we'll try to get pricing and try to move forward with making improvements there at the park. And then hopefully by at our next meeting, I'll have more information. I called the company that we got, that put up our new signs, or the new sign on the north end, a welcome to Pierson, and then on the other side it has Chipper Jones. When I was doing an inspection of that sign, it has like mold growing on it, but I wanted to talk to the company to find out, which I've got to call into them, of what should we do to help preserve or so that, you know, the sign will be in good shape for years to come. So I didn't want to do anything as far as cleaning until I hear from the company that installed the sign. So that'll be a part of this package too. Okay, well, we'll try to get some of all this information and have it back when we have it. We'll have it at one of our regular meetings. Okay, item number 5G, Town Clerk Mentor. This is something that I had talked with, I'm glad you're here tonight, Mark. I had talked with Mark Corrett. He has a experienced, how about if you share with the board this person that is a town clerk, Mark, that...
Yeah, this person's a former town clerk. Her name is Connie Evans. She does consulting for city clerks. She has a lot of experience with Oak Hill, a town, you know, very similar size. She was their administrator for a number of different years, and now she does provide consulting and mentoring service to new town clerks. And it was something that I talked to both the mayor and Yvonne about, whether this would be beneficial to her and to you all, and I think that would be the case. There's all sorts of processes that are specific to being a town clerk. I try to provide, you know, I'm a planner by training. I've worked in government for a number of years and as a consultant, so I field a lot of calls from Yvonne where I work her through some issues that she may not be familiar with. But there's whole areas of being a clerk that I don't have knowledge or experience with that would be beneficial to her and to you.
So she's available as is
As a
basis,
consultant. Yeah.
like a tutor, like a
Mentor.
for a couple of weeks or so.
Well, I mean, she could do one or two things. You could have her come in here, and you know, obviously there'd be, you know, I have not gotten her prices or proposal or anything like that from her, but she could either be in for a period of time, or she could be available on it, you know, an as-call basis to deal with specific issues. You know, she'd be very helpful around areas of just, you know, budgeting every year. There's all sorts of different, you know, timing issues associated with that, all of which she's, you know, familiar with and knows. And so, I mean, there's a number of different ways you could, you know, work with her.
She's, from what Mark said, she's, you know, has the experience, and I think it would help to, you know, just things to work smoothly. And we, as Mark said, this person can be used as needed. And I, after Mark had brought it up, I had to discuss this with Yvonne, and she said that she felt like that would be helpful, but I wanted to bring it up at a meeting and bring it before the board. So, floor is open for what your thoughts are. How
I mean,
y'all
if it's financially feasible, I'd like to know, you know, how.
Get a proposal from her.
We'll have to get
Just
a-
wanted to make sure that this was something that you guys
Yeah.
were interested in and felt would be helpful.
Okay.
I don't contacting her just to, you know, have a discussion with her and see what her proposal is.
Yeah.
Is it gonna hurt?
Well, again, the reason that this is being brought forth is to help to, you know, Yvonne and Ryan both do a great job. But there's nothing wrong with getting someone in here that has done this for years, that they can provide mentoring and help in areas that you're not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the intent of it, just to help. So, and then I don't think it's something that's going to be long-term, but just as Mark said a moment ago, as needed, you know, a service that she can provide as needed. So we'll try to, if y'all would like for me to do that, I'll contact her and get a proposal and then bring it back to the board.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Yep, that would be fine.
Okay, the next item is item number 5H, and this is resolution 2024-02, and this is in regards to Form 6. I think y'all have a copy of that. We had talked about, actually, Councilwoman Lenny Richardson had it as an agenda item. And we had discussed this at a prior meeting, and then with our attorney was in attendance, and there was discussion, and the discussion was that we should send the resolution in opposition to this new regulation. So at this time, I'm going to read resolution number 2024-02. This is a resolution of the Town of Council of the Town of Pierson, Florida, a municipal corporation, in opposition to the recently enacted statutory amendment made by SB 774 2023, which required municipal officers to complete Form 6 disclosures. Whereas the state of Florida enacted Senate Bill number 774 on or about May 11th, 2023, which amended, among other statutes, 112.3144 Florida statute and 99.061 Florida statute. And whereas the amendments to 112.3144 Florida statute and 99.061 Florida statute compelled municipal officials and candidates to publicly disclose information regarding their personal finances in accordance with the disclosure requirement of Florida Constitution, Article 2, 8, viva a document called Form 6. Whereas prior to the enactment of Senate Bill number 774, municipal officials and candidates were required to provide financial disclosures viva a document called Form 1 pursuant to 112.3144 Florida statute, but were not subject to the requirements of Florida Constitution, Article 2, Section 8. Whereas Form 6 requires municipal officials and candidates to list their exact net worth, exact income, and precise value of household goods and other assets and liabilities, and is therefore a much more intrusive financial disclosure than the previously required Form 1. Whereas the Town of Pierson is concerned requiring municipal officials and candidates to publicly disclose such private information impairs their right to privacy under the Florida Constitution and or right to be free of government compelled content-based, non-commercial speech under the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. Whereas it is the opinion of the Town of Pierson that the additional financial information municipal officials and candidates are now required to disclose viva Form 6 has little bearing, if any, on any elected official's municipal service, does not prevent conflict of interest or public corruption, and does not increase public confidence in the government. Whereas it is the opinion of the Town of Pierson that the previous requirement for municipal officials and candidates to complete Form 1 was less restrictive alternative means of accomplishing the same government interest. Whereas the town of Pierson desires to voice its position in opposition to the requirement that elected municipal officers comply with the disclosure requirements of the Florida Constitution, Article 2, Section 8. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town of Council of the Town of Pierson, Florida, Section 1. The above recitals are true and correct and incorporated into this resolution. Section 2, the Town of Council of the Town of Pierson is opposed to and does not endorse the amendment to 112.3144 Florida statute and 99.061 Florida statute, compelling municipal officials and candidates to comply with the disclosure requirements of the Florida Constitution, Article 2, Section 8. Section 3, all resolutions and parts of resolution in conflict herewith are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Section 4, this resolution shall become effective immediately upon adoption and shall remain in full force and effect until amended or repealed by the Pierson Town Council. This the within and foregoing resolution number 2024-02 was read before the Town Council of the Town of Pierson, Florida, in its regular meeting held at the Pierson Town Hall on March the 12th, 2024. So I've read the title and the resolution in its entirety. If it is the pleasure of the board, the mayor will entertain a motion for approval.
I move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Lenny Richardson for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Brandy Peterson. Ready for the question? Yvonne, would you please give a roll call vote?
Yes, sir. Councilwoman Brandy Peterson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sergio Cardenas?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland?
Yes.
Mayor Samuel Bennett?
Yes. So carried. Be it finally resolved that this resolution number 2024-02 shall be made a part of the permanent records of the Town of Pierson, Florida. Okay.
Sammy, why is there two copies? Blank, I just wondered.
You'd have to ask, that was in your packet. She's asking why were there two copies.
Maybe I made extra.
One has a date on it and the resolution number, and one does not.
That's what you handed me.
The one that has the resolution number on it.
Was the good one, right?
Yeah, would be right.
Any other question before we move on?
So who will we send this to, the governor, or
We'll send it to the governor and to the Florida legislature. Any other question before we move on? Okay, if none, being none, next item 5I. Both our water plants, water tower communication link, and we're going to need to do a change order to SGS construction. I had been in contact with with Mead Hunt, also SGS construction, all the parties involved in our new water plant. In the grant that we have, which is we've been able to have this beautiful new water plant, the one thing that was not a part of that was to have the both water plants and the water tower to be able to communicate. So I discussed this with all the parties involved, and they're going to put together a presentation, and as tonight they were unavailable to be here and to have to give a presentation. So I asked that we table this until our next regular meeting.
Move the table, item 5I.
Okay, we have a motion on our floor by our Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to table 5I. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Lenny Richardson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay, trees at Town Center. I have to brag on Councilwoman Lenny Richardson. She had the guys out front trim up this, you call it a laurel oak or a water oak, and but it's water oaks, laurel oaks are not good. The tree needs to come down, and I think the Public Works Department did what they could, and the rest of it, when you cut the tree, it could fall and damage. Well, there's also a power line or something there. And then also, when the tree does hit, that needs to be taken down in sections so it doesn't damage the asphalt parking. So I put that on there, so we need to get maybe some pricing, either to just take that tree down, and there's some other trees. The Public Works has done tree work through our new campus, but there's still some more trees that need to come out. So it's down as an agenda item to see how the board would like to proceed to take care of the trees.
Mr. Mayor, we got a quote from Charles Gay. What was it? We all have that in.
It's in parts. The tree that you were just discussing, $600. This whole courtyard in the middle, behind building 3 there, which includes a few dead trees, a pine tree, those 2 Australian pines that are leaning over building 3. That's $2,000. And then we also just had him quote the camphor trees over there in front of building 4 or 5, because we weren't sure if those needed to come out or not. Those were $1,500, and he said that included all stumps being ground and everything hauled away.
So what's the total there?
So the total there is $4,100, but that's if we do the camphor trees, which I guess we could maybe address later. But I think we had discussed that the major concerns were the ones here in the courtyard, because they had already damaged the roof to building 3.
And their water.
Well, and there's 2 Australian pines and a couple of regular pine trees, and then there's that one dead palmetto, or that palm.
Yeah.
So it's already dead, so.
Well, that's,
So it would really be $2,600 for all of those, and then the big tree.
so it's a total of, with all of it, what's the
41.
4,100?
For all of it, but 26 for the
26
courtyard,
just for the courtyard
and the oak tree out here. I know the oak tree out front has definitely got heart rot in it, you can tell.
Yeah, it's
There's a
hollow.
hole, it's hollow. It needs to get gone, and these here in the courtyard need to get gone as well. The camphor tree will be here when we're all dead and gone. I've never seen a camphor tree blow over.
It's what's dropping all those.
Yeah,
It's,
our big concern is
Drops,
that's why that's also why all the gutters and stuff over there.
Are full,
have
yeah,
something
full of-
damaged. We think it may be damaging the roof of that whole awning over there.
what do we-
But that's probably not as big of a concern as the courtyard one.
Right.
right.
that's a good price. It'd be, maybe good
It is.
to get all this taken care of before her, not wait until it's a more of a problem. So I think, and that's excellent that we have gotten that pricing, so it's advertised, it's an agenda item, and we have the quote. How would y'all like to proceed? I think we should do it and get, well, if you think we should, the mayor would entertain a motion to have, what's Charles's company?
M&B now.
M&B. Okay.
I
And
move to approve M&B, tree service, for the amount of what, Ryan?
$4,100.
$4,100 to do the necessary tree work at the new town center.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilmember Lenny Richardson to have M&B Tree Service to do all of the tree work that was just quoted from Deputy Clerk Ryan Smith in the amount of $4,100. Is there a second? Second by Brandy Peterson. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Okay. Hagstrom Road update and action. Has anybody, I know we had Ren that was here at the meeting, a prior meeting. Have heard anything from Ren as far as?
No.
Okay, have you heard anything? Did you hear anything? Anybody? Okay.
No.
I had, this was probably 10 days ago, I had Randy Hutchison contact me, and we talked about the problem there of Hagstrom Road. Randy had contacted Pete Richardson, and he also had talked with the other property owner, which is Donald Jackson, I believe. Donald has bought some of the property. He owns property where this canal, and Pete has property there also. This was all new to me. I'd never been out there. So I went out and I walked the whole area from Hagstrom Road down, following this canal, and it's my understanding that I believe that Curtis had this possibly built years ago, and it really worked well, and it took the water out of that area. It's in need of attention. So I think that it's my understanding that Pete and Donald both are in agreement for the town to clean this ditch and get it to where it will flow, because that's we really can't do anything on Hagstrom Road right there until we get get the water out of that area, because it's killing the road. So I've discussed this with our town attorney. I think that if they're in agreement, and they are, it would benefit the town, and it would benefit that whole area to get that canal flowing, or this ditch. I think we should have, because of the investment of having to clean that out, I think, and everybody's in agreement, if they agree to this, we should go ahead and write up an agreement that would allow the town to clean this area and be able to maintain it, so that when we're all dead and gone, if we're not here, there'll be something in writing that people after us can go in there and keep that opened up and flowing, because that's the problem right now, is it's just stopped up. So
How far through there is it to that lake?
It's a good way.
Pretty good way, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I would think so. It's gotta be at least
Well,
200 yards, isn't it?
At least.
I would think.
Well,
So again, we if that's something that we want to try to fix Hagstrom Road, this is where we first start, is to try to get rid of this water. And this is something that Curtis built many years ago, and now it needs attention. So if it's the consensus of the board, I'd like to further my conversation with our town attorney and get him to put together the necessary paperwork that we need to do so that we can proceed and move forward on this.
Who would clean it out? The town, like our
We would clean,
employees?
well,
We have
no,
the equipment to do that?
no. Well, we might be able to, I discussed this earlier with Jimmy. He might be able to use, the backhoe that we have to clean the ditch, but he said it doesn't do well if you go to push it or to, anything other than digging. Digging, we might be able to use that. And, so that's part of it, Brandy. So if we can use this equipment that we have to dig that ditch,
The ditch along the road or the ditch to the canal going to the lake?
the ditch,
Because both of it needs to be dug.
the ditch goes from, it starts at the edge of Hagstrom and it goes from there all the way
To the lake.
Shaw Lake.
to heads down toward the lake, Shaw Lake, yes.
And
So-
the other one goes your direction, but that side isn't backed up, it's just the east side of the road.
So, now, hopefully we can use the equipment that we have, and if we can't, if that doesn't function and work, that's something we might need to look at getting a new, backhoe, but maybe not one as big. But, you know, we were able to get that through when we put in the water system years ago. That's how old it is. So,
You're talking about the low spot there on the south end of Hagstrom Road? Or are you talking about on the north end of Hagstrom Road?
I'm talking on the, let's see, it would be,
South, the
Right,
bad
right, yeah, that's not Shaw Lake that it goes to.
no, Shaw.
Shar.
Okay, I thought
We
y'all
said Shar.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. I was gonna say, it's more way longer than 200
Shaw
yards
Road,
of Shaw Lake
Shaw
from there.
Lake side. Yeah.
I mean, I guess we need to get permission from the property owners to
Get it
access.
writing,
which we have it verbally. But what I alluded to earlier, we need to get all this in writing
Yeah,
and have an agreement. Because if we're gonna make this type of a capital improvement, we need to have it that it protects them and protects the town, but have something in place that we can maintain it. Because if it doesn't flow, we're gonna be right back where we are today. So it needs to be, anyway, so if it's a consensus that y'all wanna move
yes,
forward on
have
that,
the attorney,
then I can, as mayor,
I'm gonna say go out the quote on it and see about somebody digging it, cause I'm not so sure
I'm
our
afraid,
equipment's gonna.
I'm afraid our
If we
equipment
start
will
it-
never be seen again if it bogs off in
Right.
there.
well,
Well, we definitely gotta get a price.
Yeah, that's what I said, go to quote and see.
yeah, so we can, but the question is, do we move forward with whatever, all the things that I've
Just
talked about?
the legality of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
y'all wanna move forward on that?
We can go ahead and get the agreement,
Yes,
but,
and then we
Of course, that's
can
gonna-
look at how we're gonna, to accomplish that, yes.
You need a
Okay.
motion, or?
Yes,
I move that we, approve our attorney, Christian Law, to obtain legal easement from whichever property owners, is required to open the flow of the water on South Hagstrom Road.
and to have, with, including your motion, that we would have that as a permanent, something that
Yes.
we've been able to maintain.
Yes, to grant us a permanent, easement to do so.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor, is there a second?
second.
Seconded by our Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland. Ready for the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Also, I went down and looked at that other area that if you go around the corner and on the south part of the road, you can see minnows, you know, swimming around where the water is coming from but it's not flowing. And I'm wondering if we, you know, we've used the county before where they have that machine where they can dig it up and go in that culvert that's there, and maybe it's stopped up.
Whereby
Uh,
Curtis's.
where you turn to go,
driveway.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'd like to maybe, I think that's something we ought to do is, and we can try it. Who knows, if it stopped up, it might go to flowing.
I don't know where it's gonna flow to, 'cause,
In that area too, if we've
That's
got to,
low.
that's the same thing,
that's low.
and we've got to get that opened up also.
Yeah,
So it's
all
the
that is a
same
big area right
concept.
there.
Now, I haven't,
But Bobby, that water flows to Shaw Lake.
Right, but it probably did originally,
Yes,
but, Haitian has a pond very close to
Yeah.
that now.
Right back there.
It may behoove us to see if we couldn't, just 'cause, of course, I don't know whether that fellow that lives on the corner owns that property where the water collects on the north end of Haitian Road, doesn't he? He's got a fence down to there, doesn't he?
Mhm. His
Uh,
fence runs right into Alvin's,
I'd have
Runs
to
right
look.
in
Right
Alvin's,
where
so
they
I bet
put
he
that
owns that,
pond.
I bet he owns that Alvin's then.
and I think he's dug some kind of ditch back in
He
there.
has.
Mhm.
so we need the same type of arrangement if need be, that on this area too, on
If
the,
he's dug a ditch back there to get it going on towards the lake,
Yeah, I don't know what his ditches are.
then maybe we need to talk to him regarding that. Of course, you lose a piece of equipment right there, in that
Yeah,
area, I can tell you.
easy.
well, that water is just killing the road in both areas. It's terrible. So, anyway, we'll proceed with this, and then we'll move forward with it. That was the consensus and the vote on, with the board. Okay. Item number L, 5L, old signage at Town Hall. You know, we still got the sign up there, it says Pierson Town Hall. What's the board's thoughts on, how do we wanna take that, the signage down where it says, cause you know, it has the big sign, Pierson Town Hall.
Can it be moved?
It can be, I'm sure it can, well, just that plastic part that says, now there's the part of it says Pierson Town Hall, the other part says Surety.
Yeah.
We just need to remove that part that says Pierson Town Hall, cause that's no longer the town hall.
Mhm. Yeah, that needs to be
Yeah, it
removed.
does, it's deceiving, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay? Okay, the mayor would entertain a motion to,
Ryan?
I was just gonna say, I poked around in QuickBooks and I tried to find who we paid to install that, to get a name so that I could have them come remove that for us. So if any of you guys know what sign company did it, because I can't find that.
no, that was, yeah.
And I mean, if we could figure out maybe who Surety used, because they obviously put theirs up more recently. Any sign company could probably do it, but I just thought if it was someone we had used prior, that maybe they could come pull it down, but I couldn't find out who it was, so.
Well, we've got a company right here in town that could probably do it. Steve at Big Dog could maybe,
I don't wanna use Steve at Big Dogs for anything.
you know, okay.
He never took a sign down blasting our planner.
No.
Well,
I also don't know if Surety would like it to just be like blank. I don't know if they wanna move theirs up some, or maybe we should just ask them if they have a sign person that did their sign.
Yeah,
yes, Jeremy.
He said it, I was just gonna say, maybe ask Surety if they wanna expand their sign, and that, maybe that would work.
Mhm.
And they
Yeah.
could just-
Exactly.
They could just take ours down in the process.
Make theirs bigger.
Well, and that's fine. I just wanted to bring it to the attention of the board instead of, oh, well, when are y'all gonna take the sign down? So we've talked about it, and so what is you just wanna wait, or do you wanna,
how about we check with Surety and see who their sign company is, maybe, and
that's a good idea. Okay,
check on, but I can't condone, Big Dog action.
and I agree.
towards the town.
I agree with you. I actually had talked with Steve here some time ago, and I told him, I said, you know, Steve, that's not That's an untruth. When he called me about having an event over there, I had talked with him, and I said, if you want to do that, come, you know, it's not, you can't do that, but come to the town, make application, and if you want to move forward on it. He never did come. And then, so I talked to him, I said, Steve, that's not true when you put on there that the town, that our town planner that works for the town of Pierson stopped you. He didn't stop you. It's just not a permitted use in your current land use regulations. And he agreed, and he told me that he was going to take it down, but it's still up there. So, you know, that's my, I wanted to try to bring closure on that, and then, because that was unfortunate that happened, that he did that, because he has done good things for the town when he's made banners at no charge, and he's done things. So I was just trying to get maybe closure on that, and for him to come forth and take it down. The sign is still there. He hasn't taken it down. I was hopeful that it would be down, but it's still up there. So I understand. That's why I went and
Yes, I think he owes, Mark Barrett a personal apology, and he owes his council, owes his town an apology.
well, again, that's a choice and decision that Steve would need to make. So, okay. So for right now, the signage, we'll just talk with, we'll leave it where it is and talk with surety about.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Updates by mayor. I've had a lot of agenda items. Let me see if I've got anything here that I made. I don't have anything else at this time. I might, if I've omitted something, I'll reserve the right to come back. But I'll move next, item 5N, updates of town attorney. He's not here, so then we'll go to the next item, updates of town projects from our town planner, Mark Corrett of Zeb Cohen.
Last time I was here, we talked about the Family Dollar, 103 North Center. I think I told you at that time that I thought there would be a positive resolution of that situation, and I hope that is the case. So they've applied for permits to make some adjustments, but they're not going to do substantial changes to the roof system, the sprinklers, and all those issues that they indicated would not allow them to open. So they're making those changes. My understanding is that they'll be all done in a couple of weeks, and it'll be ready for Family Dollar to come back and do their stock and stuff. And I know that, Mayor, that you did speak directly to Representative Twin Rivers, the owner of the building, about that.
Yes, thank you for that. I did call Twin Rivers. I did have a conversation, and he's told me that tentatively he's because I had people asking me, so that's why I contacted them, and we're hopeful hopefully in 3 to 4 weeks, maybe it'll be open. And I wished them the best. I said I hope that I think that we were able to get most of things resolved with the fire chief / fire marshal, and they're proceeding with making those improvements. And I just told them that we want to do, my call was as an encouragement to them, because we want the new business to be here in town. We don't want to lose this new business that's coming to the town of Pierson. So I think it's all going to work out. And Mark, thank you for reporting on that.
I was here on 3/7 to meet with people, had a busy day. In the morning, met with several people in my
Thank you, Mark, as always, for an outstanding job, and we're fortunate to have you here as a part of our planning. Mark Fret's a wonderful addition of here to the town of Zeb Cohen and Associates. So thank you, Mark. Okay, we have, that finishes the, I believe that finishes the agenda. And under old business, 6A resurfacing parking lot at New Town Center. Wanted to get the board's thoughts on getting some pricing on maybe this front area and get a cost of what it would cost to make an improvement on our parking area. But I didn't want to do it unless move forward on it. It's kind of like the ditch. I wanted to bring it to the board and before I contact people to get some pricing.
Well, it never hurts to get prices, but once we get the prices, then we'll know how we want to proceed with that. But until we do get prices, then,
So I'll get prices, that consensus, get prices, and then bring it back to the board. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Okay. That finishes the agenda. Our Vice Mayor, anything else that?
yes, I have noticed where, I don't know if it's the county doing it or our Public Works doing it. Have y'all been filling any potholes, Chris? That must be the county then. I noticed on Van Oak Road, between Roberts and Shell Harbor, they filled in some potholes there. We need to, we got some bad potholes on Turner Road between Shaw Lake Road and Washington Avenue, and proceeding over the big hill. There's potholes before you get between the intersection of Turner Road and Washington Avenue going north. We need to get, didn't the Public Works, can't they go get some millings and fill those potholes in?
Yeah, we, the last couple potholes that we did, we actually put concrete in them.
Well, there's quite a few around town that need to be filled up with something, either millings or concrete.
Well, yeah,
And
so,
then I think we need to get that done.
well, if you'll give a list, if you would,
I can get a list.
Mr. Vice Mayor, make a list and give it to either Yvonne and Ryan, and then I'll get with them and we'll get to work on that.
I can sure make a list.
Okay.
And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Sergio?
I'll pass it on to Ms. Councilwoman.
I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Brandy? Wow. Okay. At this time, anyone in the public, for the good and welfare of the public? Yes, Jeremy?
I'd just like to add, and go back to the 4th of July talk earlier, that my company will donate the use of the Stockholm machine again and the shirts and cups, just like we did 2 years prior. And I will get with Marcy or Yvonne to know kind of the amount of what was sold last year, so we know how much to buy.
Okay.
Thank you.
That was a big hit, Jeremy, and thank you.
I will donate a little bit of time.
I'll let Chad help you.
I think the problem was that we ran out of ice.
Syrup, what syrup?
Oh, I thought it was both.
Both, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy. Paul?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to bring it to your attention, Council. I believe it was at the tail end of 23, and it was brought up about this Washington Street in front of the high school, the hole. Then it was brought up again, if I'm not contact Spectrum and get that thing fixed. Well, as you know, it's not fixed. So, I think somebody ought to call Spectrum and give them an ultimatum. Get your damn phone lines out of here, or fix the hole. Just a thought. If I may indulge, if I remember correctly, the middle of February, it was mentioned that you put new lights in here, so old men like me can see. I don't see any up there. Just remind you guys, that's all. That's your job. The third thing I want to bring up to your question on is how many years have we been talking about the DRA? We have, with the work of the Planning and Zoning Commission, tried to make sure that the citizens of this town are taken care of. Making sure there's borders, there's lines, there's certain things they've got to accomplish an authorization to move on. We still don't have the DRA, and it's going to be 3 years. Now, from what I'm hearing through the grapevine, one of the major situations is our town attorney, for some reason, does not want this to come about. Now, I don't know how this operates in normal things, but when I'm the boss, what I say goes. The council, take care of this situation. There's too many policies going on around this whole town. And you especially see them. And you recognize them. You've got to take this bull by the horn and take care of it. Enough is enough. It's been 3 years. I know it's been 3 years. I thank you very much for allowing me to say those few words.
Thank you, Paul. In regards to the lighting, we have contacted Fred Huff Electric, and it's approved. We've asked him to come put new lighting, and he did order some, what's the thing he ordered for the big lights? The what? Ballasts for the old lights and the track lighting. So it's been, the lighting has been ordered, and I wish it was installed tonight, but we have approved it, and we're waiting. So
thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
We need somebody to check on street lights around town at night. I've noticed there's a lot of them that only work part of the time. Some of them are like halfway burning, and there's a couple that don't work at all. So maybe we could get one of our public works guys to check those at night. I mean, we're paying for them every month, right?
Yes.
Whether they work or not. So those things need to be addressed by Progress Energy, because we've got a lot of them that aren't working. There's the one on the corner where I live at Frederick and Second Avenue, gets on and off, and there's another one on Frederick Street also that is problems, and I think I've noticed one or two on US 17.
Thank you, Gray. We'll do and go and do a check the lights and see if we can't get some of these lights fixed. Yes.
I was just gonna say, me and Chris had already talked about, we need to do this tomorrow night, so we had already planned on doing it tomorrow night.
Okay.
Good deal.
Good deal. Thank you. Anyone else at this time? Okay, being no further business, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming to the meeting. And being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.